family channel. Today we're going to be dealing with duckweed. Duckweed is a fantastic plant. It is weed, so it's not amazingly hard to look after, but it is a very good food source for ducks, believe it or not. Chickens, dogs, rabbits, fish, you know, so it's one of these things that if you can grow it, if you've got room to grow it, it's very good to feed a lot of different animals. So, you know, if you can have enough of it growing, you can feed the entirety of your livestock almost. So what I want to do is I want to show you how to deal with it. Unfortunately, I haven't got very much time today, so I'm going to have to do a temporary setup, and I'll talk you through what you should do, and then probably in the next couple of days I'll have a chance to do it all properly, and I'll be able to show you properly how to do it all. But this is just with what I've got lying around, I can deal with it and, you know, keep it alive until I'm ready to actually start it properly growing and so on. So let's get on. So I'm not very happy with how it was transported, and it is very, very smelly. It's obviously come from someone's fish tank, and they obviously don't clean their fish tank out very well, which is a good thing because this loves the dirty fish water, but it is really, really smelly. Anyway, in here I've got some sort of dechlorinated water. What I've done is I've got the water, I poured it last night, and overnight the chlorine should have dispersed or evaporated or whatever. I'm not entirely sure what happens, but I know that it gets rid of some of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this in this water. I'm going to leave it all absolutely smelly and all that, you know. I'm not going to change that because that is good food for it. And I'm going to just put this in a windowsill. Now, when I set this up in the next few days properly, I'm going to be putting it in a fish tank. I'm going to have a little water, a little bubbler going so that it's oxygenating the water, and I will be using rabbit droppings as nutrients to help it and so on. But I'll show you all of that. Oh, one other thing, covering this, you need to cover it all the way around the sides with something that's you know, black, just to stop algae growing in it as well. So that's something else I'll be doing. But for now, I'm going to just pour this in. Well, I'm going to rip this open and get as much of this out as I can, because every little one of these leaves is a piece of the plant itself, and it's one of the smallest types of plants. It has the smallest blossom of most plants and so on as well. I'm going to get the rest of them out in a sec, but see, I think there's algae growing in this already. Yep. None of this should be pickable, upable like this. So they've actually got algae in this already. So I wasn't thinking I was going to have to show you this, but to get the algae off, you keep dipping it in, taking it out. So I'm going to have to do that now, because there is a lot of algae in this. Right, well, I'll be having to complain to the seller, because this algae competes for nutrients, and it's not good for the duckweed. Also, it's some animals don't like it at all, so you can have problems with getting your animals to eat this. It's a simple enough process to get rid of. It's just a very time-consuming process. Okay, now what you have to do, just take your finger through it, and I'm actually going to be scraping the bottom in the next pass, because a lot of it's gone to the bottom. Look at that. That's ridiculous. So I'm going to scrape with my nail across the bottom, so it's all touching the bottom, the actual algae. Considering this is supposed to be just duckweed. I didn't pay for anything else. Oh, I get a bonus. There's more algae here than there is duckweed. And that's not an exaggeration for once. Now I'm going to scrape out the leftovers from in the bag. I don't want to leave any of this. I'm going to speak to the guy who sold me this, because if you're starting off with this stuff with algae in it already, like large quantities, then you're already fighting a losing battle. I'm going to be doing everything I can to make sure algae won't grow, but if it's already there, it's sort of like, you know, there's no point putting a weed barrier underneath weeds, you know. So right, there we go. Okay, now I'm going to use a fork to scrape through and try and get as much of this algae out as I can. This may or may not work. I've never seen anyone use it, but as I was going through it, I thought this might be quite a clever idea. We'll soon see. Well, I'll be. Blinking worked. Okay, so in future, if you want to get rid of algae, use a fork. Okay, so that's as much algae as I can get out of it, and we haven't done too badly. I'll give you a above view in just a second. Considering it was teeming with algae, that's not too bad. Okay, so I'm going to put it on the windowsill just for today, give it as much sunlight as I can, because last night it stayed pretty much in the dark because I wasn't in. And tomorrow, if I get a chance, I'm going to show you how to properly get this so we can start it reproducing, start actually being able to use it as a credible food source for some of our animals. One thing I will do quickly is just take the stuff in from the side like that. I'm going to go all the way around because I don't want any of it to dry out. Okay, I'll do the rest off camera, but that's pretty much all you have to do, and this should hopefully be a nice food source for all of our pets. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. And this is how much algae we moved. What was I calling it? Algae? Algae. Don't matter. This is how much algae we removed from just that tiny amount. There was an incredible amount in there, considering it wasn't supposed to have any in. And unfortunately, no matter what you do, we have lost some of our duckweed. I could get it back. I could keep wetting it, shaking it all off, but it's a long process, so I'm not going to bother doing that. And we got the majority of it off.